Am I the a-hole for deciding to quietly change my will without telling my wife? My wife 32F and I 34M just had our first baby today. We were in the delivery room, all was going well, and I was holding her hand trying my best to be supportive. She was in pre-labor and was experiencing irregular contractions that she said weren't painful yet. I told her how much I loved her and that she was doing great, but made sure not to talk too much either. All of a sudden, my wife tells me to please get out. I ask her what happened, and she says she just doesn't want me there right now. I stand there in surprise for several seconds, after which the midwife tells me to get out or she'll call security. I feel humiliated. Not only was I banned abruptly from watching my child's birth, but it was under the threat of force. Throughout our marriage, I've suspected that my wife wouldn't be with me if it wasn't for my job and family background. Her eyes don't light up when I come home from work. I start our long hugs, and she ends them early. Her eyes wander when I'm talking to her. I don't think she loves me nearly as much as I love her. I'm not accusing her of being a gold digger. She may love me on some level, but I don't know that she has ever been in love with me. If I died tomorrow, I don't know if it would take her very long to move on. I live in a state where the right to an elective share is 25% of separate property. We don't have a prenup, so this means that my wife has a right to at least 25% of my separate property if I die, even if I were to disinherit her in my will. I've decided to give her 30% of my separate property, was previously 100%, and 100% of our communal property if I die. The rest of my separate property, including income-producing assets and heirlooms, goes to my children and other family members. Am I the a-hole for doing this?
Here are the top comments.
You should read up on the stages or phases of labor, specifically transitioning to stage 2 of labor. This is a common reaction moms have, and it's due to an abundance of hormones and emotions. And maybe consider speaking to your wife about how you've been feeling.
Perhaps you should ask her why she wanted you to leave and move forward with a better understanding. I would have fully preferred to be alone with medical people at delivery. It would have been easier for me to focus on my needs and delivery than to be acting as part of a couple during delivery. I knew it would bother my husband greatly if I delivered alone, so he was present each time. He does not know this 20+ years later, but I would have still preferred to have been alone.
Talk to your wife. Childbirth is complicated and can be messy. A common event is for the mother to pass her bowels during contractions, something your wife might have done and not wanted you around for. But really, having you removed was her call, and you'll have to ask her why she did that. But first tell her that it hurt you to be ejected from the room like that, and that's why you're bringing it up. But most importantly, talk with your wife.
If you're so concerned about your marriage, be an adult about it and have a civil conversation with your wife about how you don't feel appreciated or loved. Maybe she expresses love differently than you do. Maybe she's just not a huge fan of physical affection. Maybe she has trouble with eye contact. You say you don't think she's a gold digger, but your first move is to limit her inheritance in case you die. How is that going to fix anything? Talk to your wife.